after the liberation of Mosul and the expulsion of ISIS from major cities, the key objective shifted to preventing the group from regrouping and returning. In this context, Western Iraq and the Al-Assad airbase became critical. Located near the Syrian border, it served as a strategic hub where the Iraqi National Army and coalition forces concentrated their efforts to contain the remaining ISIS threat. Hundreds of Iraqi soldiers were deployed to the Al-Assad region to secure the area, patrol settlements, and monitor the use of buildings in newly liberated zones. Every structure, every street could potentially conceal signs of a re-emerging insurgency, hidden weapons caches, underground shelters, or coordination points for sleeper cells. Iraqi army patrols systematically checked houses, questioned suspects, and gathered information from locals. It was a labor-intensive but essential process to prevent the resurgence of militant activity. At the same time, coalition forces reinforced their presence at Al-Assad by deploying advanced surveillance systems, electronic intelligence equipment, and heavy artillery. A key component was the use of high-caliber, bell-fed weaponry, which played a crucial role in sealing off the desert corridor that connected Syria to Iraq. ISIS had long used this route to move fighters, weapons, and supplies across the border. Through tight coordination between the coalition and the Iraqi army, a dense security net was established. With aerial surveillance, signal interception, and constant ground patrols, the corridor came under continuous monitoring. Any suspicious activity triggered an immediate response, ranging from artillery strikes to special operations. The strategy for liberating Mosul was one of the most complex and carefully planned phases of the entire campaign against ISIS. It was led by British General James Jones, who was responsible for coordinating coalition forces, allocating resources, and synchronizing operations between the Iraqi army, Kurdish units, and international partners. The main focus was on the eastern part of Mosul, an area more open and maneuverable. It was there that Iraqi forces began their advance, moving block by block while facing booby traps, ambushes, and heavy resistance. Of particular importance was Axis Q, one of the designated lines of advance used in the overall battle plan. Axis Q ran through residential neighborhoods, connecting the outskirts with the central parts of the city, and served as a key corridor for the movement of infantry and armored vehicles. Thanks to precise coalition support, aerial reconnaissance, and targeted artillery, progress along Axis Q was faster than in other sectors of the city. During the Battle of Mosul, one of the most serious threats faced by the Iraqi army came from ISIS attacks using improvised explosive devices. These bombs, hidden on roads, inside buildings, vehicles, and even disguised as ordinary objects, became the militants' primary weapon in urban warfare. Lacking the strength for conventional battles against the superior forces of the Iraqi army and coalition, ISIS relied on attritional tactics, relentless surprise attacks aimed at disrupting the advance and demoralizing soldiers. In the first 51 days of the Mosul operation, ISIS launched over 200 such attacks, including suicide bombings, car bombs, and remotely detonated explosives. This wave of violence was devastating. According to various estimates, thousands of Iraqi soldiers were killed or severely injured in these assaults. The danger was particularly acute in densely built-up areas, where it was nearly impossible to detect and neutralize every hidden threat. ISIS exploited tunnels, traps, and fake shelters, turning every street and building into a potential death zone. The Iraqi army also suffered significant losses in equipment. Forced to navigate narrow streets and destroyed urban terrain, armored vehicles and transport convoys were highly vulnerable. According to coalition data, ISIS managed to destroy up to a quarter of the Iraqi army's vehicles within the first weeks of the battle. This included armored personnel carriers, supply trucks, engineering vehicles, and medevac units. In some sectors, the army was left nearly immobile, lacking the ability to maneuver or resupply. Logistical problems quickly became critical. With transportation shortages and constant vehicle losses, commanders struggled to deliver reinforcements, ammunition, fuel, and medical aid. Units had to improvise, repairing vehicles on the front lines, repurposing civilian trucks for military use, and relying heavily on coalition partners for resupply. Maintenance crews worked around the clock, and urgent requests for new vehicles were passed to coalition logistics chains. Yet despite the heavy losses, the Iraqi army pushed forward. Soldiers operating under some of the most dangerous and exhausting conditions demonstrated remarkable resilience and courage. At the height of the Battle of Mosul, as equipment losses and logistical challenges reached critical levels, General James Jones convened an urgent meeting with coalition and Iraqi commanders. The purpose was to review and improve strategic planning to minimize losses and increase operational effectiveness. A key topic was the role of transport vehicles, especially Hummers, reliable armored vehicles capable of navigating difficult urban and desert terrain. The Hummers were seen not just as transportation but as vital for ensuring troops' safety and mobility. Their armor and maneuverability allowed for the secure movement of soldiers, ammunition, and equipment amid constant threats, including attacks using improvised explosive devices. However, the number of Hummers was limited, and ongoing damage from attacks made repair and resupply increasingly urgent. Simultaneously, the meeting addressed a serious problem: the fight against ISIS's improvised explosive devices, the deadliest threat to the Peshmerga and Iraqi forces. Their effectiveness lay in their element of surprise and the difficulty of detection. To counter this threat, troops employed tactics such as creating chicanes, artificial obstacles, and roadblocks that force slower, more cautious movement, allowing time to detect and disarm mines. Special emphasis was placed on training personnel, deploying engineering units, and using specialized equipment for bomb disposal. Although ISIS lacked high-tech weaponry, the simplicity and lethality of their IEDs made them an extremely dangerous factor on the battlefield. Continuous efforts to improve detection and neutralization methods became a crucial part of the Mosul liberation campaign, helping to save lives and maintain forward momentum even in the most challenging conditions.